Hello, everybody, and welcome to my podcast. If you've been following any of the other podcasts, you know that I've been focusing on who we are made to feel we are based on other people's opinions of us, whether or not we feel desired like we were desired when we were conceived. And tonight or today, depending on when you are watching this, we're going to talk about the things that we believe about ourselves based on our life experiences. For instance, we might have gone through something when we were very young, and that might cause us to feel a certain way about ourselves as we grow up. For instance, an example from my life, when I was a little girl, I lost my older sister to a car accident. I was very young and she was around 20, I believe. I was used to having her there all the time, and then suddenly she was just gone. I couldn't figure out why, and I had gone to other family members, but everybody was grieving so much that I, not to necessarily the fault of my family, but I was kind of pushed away so that it was never really explained well what happened. I just didn't understand death. I didn't understand somebody suddenly not being there. So this, in turn, caused me to fear losing people that I loved, people that I was close to. So this caused me to be really clingy to my mom, especially didn't like going to school. I just really hated being away from her. Just being so little, it caused a lot of stress for me because I didn't really know what was wrong with me and why I was feeling this way. I would always want to snuggle up to her, and I needed to hear if she loved me or not. I would constantly ask and need that validation and be like, Mom, do you love me? Do you love me? She would just kind of get irritated with me after a while. So through therapy and just over the years, I have come to learn that this insecurity in me started when I was just this little kid that needed that validation, that needed to understand loss and death. Because those weren't properly dealt with, I kind of carried that throughout my life. This in turn caused other problems to where I was always fearing something. It caused just this deep-seated anxiety that I carried with me and still somewhat to this day carry with me. Now I am in therapy. I'm learning to deal with anxiety. It's been a long road, and this can happen to so many people. You tend to be hard on yourself when these things happen. We tend to have both positive and negative experiences, and those negative ones can really drag us down and can really make us form an opinion of ourselves and cause insecurities that we just carry and we don't know what to do with it. We sit there and think there's something wrong with us, whereas sometimes it just stems from something that we've been through that just needs to be dealt with. Sometimes too, it's important to deal with forgiveness. And remember, forgiveness, it doesn't mean that it's forgotten. It means that we hand it over to God and say, you deal with this. It's too heavy for me and I want you to deal with it. He wants us to hand that over to him. And so, the hurt might carry over, but that pressure to forgive, is gone. You've done that. If a person has gone through abuse, that can cause a person to feel like they're unworthy of love. And no matter what we go through, God's opinion of us never changes. But we don't always see through the eyes of God. And so it's difficult for us. When all of these things are happening in our lives, it's hard for us not to carry it, not to carry guilt, not to carry blame, not to carry pain, and all these things that form our views of ourselves and our insecurities. So it's important for us to understand who we are through the eyes of God. And if you haven't watched the other videos, do so. I think that could be helpful with this particular subject. Another thing is to seek therapy. I didn't have the shame that a lot of people carry with going to therapy. I welcomed it, and I was actually excited about it because it's important that we're always willing to grow. And the more we can grow, and the more we can learn about ourselves, and the more we can learn about the way we carry hurts, we're going to benefit ourselves and we're going to benefit others around us. Sometimes the insecurities that we carry, sometimes that will cause us to carry those same fears into other relationships, that constant fear of somebody leaving, or that fear that they don't love you, or that fear that they might hurt you. In cases of abuse, when there's abuse though, it also can cause confusion in us. When we have hurts from our past, and we kind of lack in the way we would judge how people should treat us based on, on past hurts, or how we've been treated, or how we've been neglected. When we carry that into relationships, that can skew our vision on how we should be treated. If you are not being treated with dignity, with love, there's something wrong. And everybody deserves to be treated with dignity and with love and with patience. And yes, sometimes life gets hard and we argue with our loved ones and everything, but this isn't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when things go unhealed in our past that make us go into relationships or enter into relationships without proper discernment, or even if we've discerned, we just don't have that deep-seated know-how to believe that we deserve, more in a relationship. So sometimes that gets carried out. And when that happens, we tend to get stuck in relationships that are abusive. This doesn't always have to mean romantic relationships. It can also mean family relationships or friendships or whatever, where we don't think we deserve more based on our opinions of ourselves, if that makes sense. The things that we have experienced throughout our lives that form opinions of ourselves. So yeah, it's just really important to look at each part of your life to say, when I was a little kid, is there anything that I went through that might have affected me and created these insecurities within me? When I was a teenager, did my needs get met as a teenager? When I started dating, did my needs get met then, or did I feel rejected? Have I put up with abuse? Have I had boundaries with relationships? If there's any negativity surrounding any of these things, I really encourage you just to reach out to a priest, pastor, counselor, whoever, and just get that sorted out. Just like when we have to clean out our closets, organize things every once in a while, we have to do the same things with our lives just to keep things straight and make sure that our views on life are healthy ones, and views of ourselves are healthy ones. God wants us to have the healthy views of ourselves, and He, of course, understands everything, and He didn't want us to have those negative experiences. But unfortunately, that's life. And, after the fall, there is just tough things we have to go through. Sometimes really, really tough things. And if you have been through tough things, if you have gone through loss, if you've gone through tragedies, or if you've gone through just pain from abuse or whatever, know my heart goes out to you. And I understand. I've been through a lot. I've been through most of that myself. And I realize that it takes a lot of work, and that's okay. You don't have to have everything all together. The important thing is always that we do something with what we've been given. We might want that perfect life and trouble-free life and stuff, wouldn't that be nice? But the important thing is that we learn throughout it, and that we do something with it. So that, we can help others who might experience grief or pain or discouragement or whatever it may be. So I hope this helps you guys. And just make sure to look at my other videos too, because it all kind of works together. I hope this all encourages you. Reach out with anything, any questions or comments or anything like that. That will help me. It will encourage me as well. So make sure to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell button to be notified of my new videos. God bless you guys.